So the views and opinions I am sharing with you today are mine, Ella Bergstrom, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, but these views do represent my research and preparation. So let's get into my speech. My speech is about the hidden costs of horse ownership. First, I'm going to talk about the mental and physical benefits of being around horses. Equine therapy helps people with PTSD, cerebral palsy, and mental health problems. Equine assisted services uses characteristics from the horse such as movement, warmth, and heart rhythms. This is from Rivera Bonet from the Therapeutic Trot. I've been riding for 12 years, and my parents had no idea of the hidden costs of horse ownership when they gave me 3 riding lessons for my birthday. And as students, we all know stress, and I believe that horses are very therapeutic, and they definitely help with my personal stress, and that's why it's relevant to you all if you ever want to consider owning a horse. So let's start with the ongoing care and upkeep required. Daily horse care is a recurring expense. Horse costs depend on the breed, age, and training. This is from the Equine Institute. The boarding and housing is an average of $3,000 to $12,000 a year. That's from the United Horse Coalition. I pay $1,000 a month for my horse's board. The vet care is $500 to $2,000 a year on average. That's like for vaccines and other emergencies that your horse might need. Horses need to get their feet trimmed and they need shoes. So a farrier comes out every 6 to 8 weeks to trim the feet and put shoes on, and that can be around like $150, $200 depending on the farrier. Your horse may need extra care, so chiropractor, massage therapy, it really just depends because horses are athletes, and like athletes, they all get hurt. So supplements as well are really important additives for your horse. My horse is on 3 supplements for digestive health, muscular health, and for his coat. So now that your horse is healthy, let's talk about the cost of gearing up for both the rider and the horse. Basically, your safety and comfort is going to cost some expensive gear. The gear for the rider is going to be mainly you're going to need your helmet and boots, and a good helmet is going to be around $150 to $500 plus. I worked at a tack store, and a lot of helmets we had MIPS technology, which is the technology they have in football player helmets to prevent against rotational head injury. So the more technology, the more quality is going to raise the price. Leather boots for your comfort and durability going to be around the same price, $150 to $500 plus. You need to have boots when you're riding a horse. So for the horse gear, you're going to need a saddle that fits properly, and it's really important that it fits because it can really hurt your horse's back if it doesn't fit properly. And when you're trying to find a saddle that fits, if your horse is hard to fit, then that can definitely raise the price as well, which can be difficult. But a quality saddle can be upwards of thousands of dollars, but a good used saddle you can get for maybe $500 to $1,200. And that's just my experience from working in a tack store for 2.5 years. So Michelle Drum from the Essential Guide to Horse Tack also outlined all of the boots that your horse may need. That can be tendon boots, cross-country boots, brushing boots, polo wraps. It all depends on the discipline and what you're using your horse for, but they all may need these boots and this protective gear, so you have to account that into the budget. So gear is one thing, but you also need training, and you need to be ready for setbacks. Horses are athletes, like I said. They need coaching and recovery, and private lessons can go around for $50 to $100 an hour in my experience. It really depends on the trainer. My off-the-track horses needed months of training. Injuries, they're very common, very costly. My horse is currently on time off right now because he has a pulled muscle and we have to get the vet out next week. And that'll probably be $200 to just figure out what's wrong with him. But horses are very prone to accidents, and it's important to be prepared when you're owning a horse to account for that in your budget. But that's also why we have insurance. I have insurance for my horse through SmartPack just for the peace of mind. According to Amy Dahm from SmartPack, the premiums they're based on age, breed, value, and use. So considering all these hidden expenses, what does this mean for future horse owners? I would say horse ownership is very rewarding, but it's definitely costly. And between the care, gear, the training, and emergencies, it's a major financial investment that you need to be prepared for. Although the emotional benefits are real, so is the responsibility. And if it's your dream to own a horse, then I would recommend you research and you do a budget, because the term healthy as a horse is not always true, and you have to be able to afford it. But it's definitely not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle commitment. But thank you for listening to my speech. This was a topical pattern for my speech. Thank you, that's it.